So I just wanted to make this video here to just kind of go over the things that I do see that, come up a lot in the application process. So the application should take you about, 35 minutes. So definitely be mindful of setting up some time aside. The application is very straightforward, very easy. It's going to ask you a couple of questions. So I'm just going to go over some best practices that I've seen. So there in the initial section, you're just going to need to create an account. You put your email, you put your phone number. Whatever email you put in here also could be modified in the future, so don't be worried. Don't worry if you, use an email. You can always modify that at a later time. Once the application is actually submitted, then in the initial section, it's going to be the basics, and then you're going to move on to what board you're part of. So eXp is part of all the boards, so don't worry about it. Just select the board that you're currently part of. If you're a newer agent and you're not part of a board just yet, just make sure that you indicate which board you're thinking of joining, right? So that way you can also, continue in that section. After that's done, then the next section is going to most likely be the sponsorship section. So just make sure that the sponsor is the person that most inspired you to come to this company, right? I'm pretty sure that, that information was already addressed, but just make sure that you indicate that person's name. You can also put in first name, last name, and put in the phone number just to make sure you got the correct person in there. And from there, you're going to watch a video. And then another section where I do see people, kind of get stuck in is if you're an individual or you're a team, right? So just indicate if you are a team leader, just make sure that you put in there you're a team leader and then you put your team name. If you're part of a team, make sure that you put your team name and then you put the team leader's name as well. Or if you're an individual and you don't have a team, you're just going to put individual. Next section I do see is the payment section, right? Like a lot of the times it says like how you would like to get paid. Well, if you have a corporation, make sure you put your corporation information in that section. If you don't have a corporation, you're going to just put individual, sole proprietor. And then if you do get a corporation in the future, you can always modify that at a later time as well. That can always be changed. The next section that I do see individuals get stuck in is how you're going to pay your initial and ongoing dues. You're going to select whether you want to do a credit card or a bank account, right? So just make sure you select the one that you want to do. If it changes at a later time, you can always modify it. You will need to put both pieces of information, both your credit card and bank account information, and it's going to ask for you to put it in there twice. So just make sure you put that in there. Regardless if you put in the credit card, the company also does direct deposits, so it's going to ask you for your bank account information regardless. But just make sure you indicate which one. And then the next section that I do get questions on is the agent equity program. So the agent equity program basically is when you close a transaction, eXp will take 5% of your commission to purchase stock at a 10% discount. If you're ready to opt in, just say yes. If you're not ready to opt in, just put no. It's an optional program, so you can always opt in or always opt out of it as well. I highly recommend it. It's just, it's a built-in 401k. I love that program because it's created a lot of wealth for a lot of my agents. So again, there's no right or wrong. That's typically how you want to do it. Also, I should have started with this, but you want to make sure that you're doing the application on a desktop and you're also doing the application either on a desktop or a laptop. Don't do it on a tablet and don't do it on your phone, and preferably use a Chrome browser. There is going to be a digital contract at the end that you're going to need to sign. You're also very mindful, the W-9 information, you want to make sure that it shows up exactly the way it shows up on the DRE. So if you have to go back to the DRE, just check your name, how it shows up. Make sure that you put that information in there clearly, because if not, they'll kick back your application and then they're going to have you revise it, and that might delay your onboarding about a day or two. So those are the main things. Make sure that you guys submit, and then also text your sponsor, text us, let us know right away. That way we can also initiate onboarding and we can introduce you to our onboarder. That way they can give you, the orientation, integration, also give you instructions on transferring your license. The application also, just so you're aware, it doesn't notify your previous broker. This application is 100% internal, so it's not going to notify anyone. Once you do your license transfer, that's when your broker will know. So obviously, if you want to give them a courtesy call, text, let them know, hey, I decided to move my license to another brokerage. Just make sure you do that. But welcome to the company. Thank you for listening.